From Alamo, we travel north on Highway 93 for a few miles. We take a left onto Highway 318 and continue past the key Pittman Wildlife Management Area. Just a couple of miles down the road, we reach one of the turnoffs for Basin and Range National Monument.
There are a number of roads that will take you into the monument area, so you have your choice. Just make sure you have a four-wheel drive vehicle, and preferably one with high clearance.
10 miles down the road, we meet up with Alicia Stiles, the Basin and Range National Monument Manager.
Hi, Alicia.
Hi, welcome to Basin and Range National Monument.
Thanks for having us.
So we are within the Mount Irish Area of Critical Environmental Concern, and this area was designated because of the cultural resources in here. And just behind us, we have some really nice petroglyphs. So at this rock art panel, we have an example of an atlatl, which is the circle with the line through it. And rock art can be really difficult to date, but the atlatl was an older weapon, and bow and arrow came into use about 1,500 years ago. So atlatl use would generally predate that time.
So even though it's hard to date the petroglyphs itself, if you think about what it might be depicting, it's a way to give it some time period.
Yes, exactly. So sometimes we can look at the drawings or the motifs and get an idea for time frame based on what they're depicting. The best etiquette for looking at petroglyphs or pictographs or any sort of cultural resources is to look but don't touch. The oils from our hands can be damaging and even destroy these fragile resources out here.
So we can take pictures, but no rubbings, no touching, nothing like that.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's a nice petroglyph here of a bighorn sheep on a dinner plate.
Look at that.
That people really like.
Actually, around the bighorn sheep that you see up there is what's called spalling. So occasionally water will seep down into a rock, and when it freezes and then it warms back up, a slab of the rock will come off or spall off.
It makes a real, not only great example of it, but a real fun example of it because it just magnifies the artwork.
Yeah, it creates a natural frame around the picture. It's really cool.
So pretty much everywhere you can put a petroglyph here, there is one.
That's really cool.
That is really cool.
Oh, and look at these guys down here.
They're everywhere. Yeah, guys, there's a nice one over here. This is one of my favorite petroglyphs.
Oh, great.
And I know that we look at the symbols and some of the things we recognize and some of them we don't, and we all like to interpret them in our own little way. Well, when I was a kid, I did a lot of fly fishing, and I look at this scene and I say that we have a fly fisherman here. So we have the man standing here with his arms up, and he's whipping his fly rod back and forth, and here's the line going out and coming over to here where we can see the trout boiling in the pond, and he's casting his line right into the trout boil. And then over here, these are his catch, his trophies laid out on the riverbank.
He's pretty successful.
So I know that this is obviously not what the person indicated when they were doing this artwork, but it's fun to interpret things in kind of a personal way.
In addition to some of the cultural resources we've been looking at out here, we have some natural resources growing on the rocks, these lichens that are represented by the many different colors we see here.
It's kind of beautiful by itself.
It is, it's really gorgeous.